All right, it's time to get the Oregon School Choice Video Contest Award Ceremony on the road. A few minutes late, but people were coming from quite a distance. So we've got everybody here, or the representative of all 20 finalists, which is exactly what we wanted. I'm Steve Buckstein. I'm Senior Policy Analyst and founder of Cascade Policy Institute. We're the sponsors of the Oregon School Choice Video Contest. And for all the staff and board members here at Cascade, I want to thank all of the entrants. We had over 104 entries, and it was really tough to choose the 20 finalists, but we did, and you're here. I want to thank the sponsors with us in the contest. We were not alone. The contest was actually funded by a grant from a national organization, the Milton and Rose D. Friedman Foundation for Educational Choice, based out of Indianapolis, named after the late Nobel Prize winner Milton Friedman, economist, and his wife Rose, who is still living. She actually grew up and went to school in Portland. So we're really pleased that they thought this was a great way to get the word out about school choice and to reward some families that either have already made tough choices or would like to make choices. Yes. Just quickly, one of the reasons that we realized that this contest was important is that the Friedman Foundation and Cascade and others commissioned a scientific poll of voters in Oregon last September to ask about educational issues. And as many of you know, it was on the contest website, we found that 87%, almost 9 out of 10 Oregonians, would prefer to send their children to other than their local regular public school if they have that choice, if they could afford it. 87%. But only 9% actually do. So there's a disconnect there. And we thought, we're pretty sure the disconnect is that most people can't afford to pay the taxes and pay for the school of their choice also. So telling these stories is important to get that word out to the rest of the Oregon population. We also found in the survey that only 8% of Oregon voters knew that Oregon taxpayers spend over $10,000 per child in public schools. Most people think it's a lot lower. So that's actually why we chose the $10,000 number as the grand prize for this contest. It didn't just come out of the air. We thought that getting the word out to the media and the public that that's what public schools are spending is important, because most people have no idea, and we want them to have that idea. We introduced two dignitaries that are in the room that actually can take your stories back to their colleagues at the Oregon State Legislature. So the first person I'd like to recognize here is State Representative Sal Esquivel from Medford. He's a good friend of school choice. If you haven't met him, you should meet him. And he has a dual purpose here today. He's here obviously to support school choice, but after we picked the 20 finalists, we found out that he is the father of one of the finalists. And that was doubly gratifying, because we already knew that he was a supporter of school choice, and so it makes the tie even greater. Our next dignitary who's here today is State Representative Matt Wingard from here in Wilsonville. Matt was elected to the legislature last year. This is his first term in the Oregon State Legislature. And before that, he actually had a number of clients, but one of them was Cascade Policy Institute. He has worked with us on education reform and school choice, and it was actually to a large degree Matt's responsibility coming up with the idea for this contest. We were brainstorming what we could do to promote school choice in Oregon and win an award from the Friedman Foundation to do it. And Matt's idea was a video contest, which turned into this. So I'd like Representative Wingard to just say a few words to you, and then we'll bring the finalists up.
Thank you, Steve. Well, I appreciate everybody coming out. You had an incentive to do that, and that's what Cascade Policy believes in, incentives. First of all, I just want to say that I was looking over the list here of the finalists, and what I was concentrating on was not so much your names, but the towns that you're coming from. And it's nice to see representatives from all over Oregon on this list, because that was the intention of the contest, was to reach out across the state and to prove the point that if you offered it, there would be a desire everywhere for an opportunity to get some school choice. And so I appreciate that it turned out that way. That's great. I want to let you know that you're all now, whether you want to be or not, initiated into the school choice movement. This is really the most important civil rights movement going on in this country. And it is critically important for tens of thousands of students in this state, and it is critically important for hundreds of thousands of students all over this country. In my role with Cascade, for a number of years, I had the opportunity to travel around and to listen to parents and to students and to get a much clearer idea of what it's really like out there. And one thing that becomes obvious very quickly when you talk to parents who send their children to Jefferson High School, for instance, in Portland, or talk to a homeschool parent in Medford or on the coast, is that we have a system that we've spent 100 years or more crafting that is homogenized. We've spent 100 years making a system that does the same thing for everyone everywhere. And I don't know of anything where one size fits all, and where we can do the same thing everywhere for every kid, and that will be the right fit. In reality, what we need is the exact opposite of the system we're currently providing. We need a system that encourages people to develop all sorts of different types of schools that cater to children's very different needs, and then free people up to go to the school that's going to be the best fit for their child. We do that with almost everything else in our life in this country, but for some reason we are stuck on doing it the wrong way when it comes to public education. And unfortunately, that has real consequences. We have a 1/3 dropout rate in this country. 1/3. And for Hispanic and African American students, it's closer to half. I don't know how you can evaluate a public education system with that kind of results as anything other than a failure. Okay? And the reason I look serious about that is because these are people. These are people. We have promised a high-quality public education to every child in this country, and we are not delivering it for a lot of them. And either they drop out, or with that other 2/3, we hand them a diploma. But in many cases, that diploma is a lie. They are not actually capable of doing reading and writing and math at a 12th grade level. And then we send them out, and we say, go take care of yourself now, earn a living, succeed. It's pretty cruel. It's pretty cruel. And it's pretty hard once you get involved in this to not get as passionate about it as I hope that you see that I am. And it's the reason why I chose to run for the state legislature. It is the only reason that I would run for the state legislature and go down there and spend time in that building that is filled with people who are settling scores and making deals and doing all sorts of other things. It's because I believe in this movement. And I brought a bill to create a $1,000 tax credit for every parent in this state to use for education-related expenses. Public school parents could use it for Sylvan Learning Center or some other tutoring that they need to assist their child. Private school parents could use it to offset the cost of tuition. Homeschool parents could use it to offset the cost of everything that they buy and purchase the computers and all the curriculum in order to do that at home. We did get a hearing, but as of Friday, any bill that had not been scheduled for a work session died, and our bill died yesterday because there were not enough votes in the legislature to move that bill. We're up against very powerful forces, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that, but those of you who know who those forces are don't need to be told, and if you have any question about who those powerful forces are, that's your homework assignment. Okay? But the point of this contest was to try to shed some light on the need that's out there. We have 88 charter schools in this state, and every year there are more public charter schools that open up, schools of choice. We have a number of virtual schools that are operating, public schools in which the students attend from home. They are under vicious attack in the legislature right now with bills designed to not only kill them, but there's actually some bills designed to shut down the entire charter school movement in Oregon. So I hope you all get engaged in those fights and contact your legislators and let them know how you feel and where you expect them to be on that. By the way, that ORED tax credit isn't dead just because it died on Friday. It died for this session, but we'll be back. And we'll keep bringing it back every session until we get it. You can join that fight by going to ORED, stands for Oregon Education, OREDtaxcredit.com, O-R-E-D, taxcredit.com. And please, we have nearly 750 people signed up as supporters on that. We need closer to 7,000 people before they'll really start to take notice, fear us a little, and give us the votes we need to move that bill.